Hey, welcome to Inspire Live here on the Inspire channel. It is Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. We're slowly but surely getting into the very last phase of this year. It's good to see you guys. Hey, Rose. Hi, Emma. Hey, Black Sky. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, and we're free. We're excited that you're all here. Please hit the like button when you join. And YouTube surprisingly is telling us that the connection is unstable. So I hope you guys can tune in. We've received a couple messages that people had troubles tuning in. We checked everything on our side, so we just hope it's getting easier for you guys. Today we're going to jump into a topic, hey Illy, that I know is interesting to a lot of us. The great conspiracy, maybe even the greatest conspiracy. And we want to clarify a couple of things about conspiracies, about this great conspiracy. And we believe that after this light, things very different light and look at things from a very different perspective. And what I always do, what I've done all my life, is to get clear, and I still do that, to receive the clearest possible picture. Sometimes that means to really go deep into a research rabbit hole. Sometimes that means to just meditate about it. To do the word conspiracy, it's such a trigger word. So basically, this is being thrown, and we're going to go into that. It's being thrown at everyone who questions an official narrative on anything. It doesn't matter what it is, whether that's in the news or that's in science or that's in history. As soon as you present a different version, a different truth, a different theory even, that is opposing the official story on something, that's the first term, conspiracy theorist. And then, you know, the more less flattering versions of it now are tinfoil head and I don't know what else. It doesn't matter. Let's go to it. Look at this. Let's demystify it. See where it comes from, see what it really means, and see why, you know, it doesn't have the power that people give it. So first of all, let me give you the real definition. I'm going to read this to you, right? The definition for conspiracy. An agreement to perform together an illegal, wrongful, or subversive act. Also, a group of conspirators, or an agreement between two or more persons to commit a crime or accomplish a legal purpose through illegal action. Now, if you look at today's mainstream news, if you look at today's opinion makers that are out in the broad public, then the consensus is there are no conspiracies. Even talking about a conspiracy is a conspiracy, which is, I mean, if you just look at this definition here, it just means that two or more people are secretly talking about doing something or doing something to accomplish a certain goal. The goal in itself might be legitimate or legal, but they might be using far-fetched. I mean, let's look at all of the spectrums of reality. This is happening every day. I would say that a lot of advertisers out there are conspirators because they're oftentimes using legal subliminal means that are have actually been already outlawed to, you know, to get to the goal they get to. So conspiracies are everywhere, and there's a ripe history of conspiracies. You can go all the way back to the records of civilizations. There's always been the brother of an emperor who conspired with another opponent to dethrone the king. I mean, the very founding of this nation, the United States of America, was, in the eyes of the crown, was a conspiracy of men who committed treason in the eyes of the crown and founded this nation and declared its independence. So the very founding of this nation was a result of a conspiracy, if you look at it from the eyes of the rulers back then, the king. But let's go way into today's time. Let's take something that we've all heard about now, and let's just look at it. Let's not look at it from a political standpoint. Let's look at this just at what happened, transpired just a month ago. Actually, exactly a month ago, November 3rd, the presidential election in the United States. what happened at approximately 2 in the morning. 5 or 6 states, coincidentally, they were all swing states, stopped counting votes or pretended to stop counting votes at the exact same time, sent poll watchers and everyone home just to secretly continue counting. Now, if this, if this this has never happened before, by the way, it's completely unprecedented. But if it had happened in one state, you could say it is a crime. Maybe it was a crime. Maybe it was a cover-up. If it happens simultaneously in multiple states, that is by definition a conspiracy, because there had to have been some sort of coordination, some sort of plan, some sort of communication to covertly, agree on something and then do it to, create a certain outcome. That in itself is a conspiracy. You don't have to be affiliated with either political party or be a fan of one or other side to understand that. You could actually be a super fan of one candidate and understand that this is what happened. This is a conspiracy. And have heard about, known about, that's, the assassination of John F. Kennedy. No one in their right mind could believe that it happened the way it was presented to the world. It defies physics in so many ways. If you've ever read the Warren Report, which was the report that was created to investigate the assassination, there's something called the magic bullet. It's the most magical bullet ever. It accomplished 7 tasks within 1.5 seconds, and the bullet changed its course in the most unnatural ways ever. So that obviously wasn't what they said it was. And if it wasn't a single shooter, if it was just 2 people, it was already a conspiracy. That's what I mean by that. We need to get very clear that this big mystery that was created around the word conspiracy and this immediate label that someone gets, that was created on purpose. Now, the term has been around for over 150 years, but it really was popularized in the 1960s after Kennedy's assassination by the Central Intelligence Agency. That they put that out. They started a campaign to label everyone who would question the official story as a conspiracy theorist. And then they put it through the news media, and they made this term so big that today, if you question anything, you're immediately called a conspiracy theorist. And here's what happens. The problem with this is that as soon as someone says it, the message doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter if what you say is validated, if it's researched, if it's true, if it's authentic, because you, the messenger, have been labeled. And as soon as someone believes you're a conspiracy theorist and they call you that, people laugh about that, right? People laugh about conspiracy theorists. They don't care what their message is or if it's even founded. They have the label. And that, in that way, the message gets discredited. That in itself is the most genius conspiracy that has ever been created, because as soon as you question a narrative, and let's be completely frank, you could go through any aspect of our society, of our living together, whether that's the finance sector, the political sector, the scientific sector, the religious sector, it doesn't matter. You could go anywhere and realize that there are room deals everywhere. This is happening on small or big. So it would be foolish to say they don't exist. But the greatest conspiracy of all is to label everyone who's questioning it in a certain way so they appear to be stupid or crazy or completely out there. That's the greatest conspiracy of them all. So how do we get to this point? How did we get to where we are now, where we're discussing this, and we're probably just calling a video the Great Conspiracy? We'll set up the alarms in the YouTube algorithm. We'll certain things to happen. It has become such a sensationalized thing. Take this word away, because in this world, I'm definitely a conspiracy theorist, but I don't view myself that way. All I do is question. Why? Well, I look at society, I wonder. We're 7.5 billion people. We have undoubtedly created a society where we have enormous wealth, and where we have prosperity, where we have technology, where we have the potential to be incredibly happy and healthy. Yet, I believe we're the unhealthiest society that's ever lived. We have more sickness, illness, more depression, more than ever. So I wonder, is that in itself, is there a conspiracy going on to keep people unhealthy, to keep people ignorant? Now you might say, if a group of people is educated enough to know what is healthy and what isn't, what contributes to a healthy and long life and what contributes to a short and sickness-filled life, if you then put your money and all your resources and all your advertising into the sickness-filled field and propagate products and foods and pharmaceuticals that create more illness, isn't that a conspiracy? If two or more people get together and say, we're going to push this product on the people and we're going to use all our resources, knowing that it will lead to harm, isn't that a conspiracy? Yes. So these things are all around us. And once we step over the fear, and I see this, we're shocked to see this in a community oftentimes that is so open-minded, that is inspired by channeled communication, that literally, there's an invisible consciousness that is channeled by people that close their eyes and maybe speak in a different voice and present greater wisdom. And then they go and say, well, even believing that a mask might not fulfill the purpose that we're told it does is a conspiracy theory, right? Or, maybe this thing that we've been experiencing all year isn't what they say it is. That's a conspiracy theory. It's dangerous misinformation. But what it really is questioning. And what have you done? What have we all done? You wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be here. No one would listen to an Abraham video or to a UC video if they, hadn't been questioning reality, the way they were presented. Because in this 3D reality, there is no such thing as channeling. There's no such thing as receiving higher consciousness. There's no such thing as receiving wisdom through channels like these. There's only hardcore 3D reality. There's only the science that can be touched. There's nothing beyond that. And so maybe it is time for us to realize that you can only call something a conspiracy theory when you first believe in an objective official truth. And that's the crux of it all. It's that people come and tell a story, and the people that have the greatest means, whether that's money or a TV screen that a lot of people look at, if they have the means, then they can tell a story. And we, by default, have been taught to believe that story without questioning it. History, the books, right? So if the winners write the history books, they're usually going to write them in a way that benefits them. Does it mean that's the truth? Not necessarily. Does it mean it's authentic? Not necessarily. So when you begin questioning it, are you then a conspiracy theorist, or are you looking for truth? I would say you are a truth seeker. I would say you're looking for authenticity. So if anything has become abundantly clear over the past 10, 11 months, especially, but then I could say 10, 15, 20 years, is that these official versions of whatever story is unfolding on the planet, usually in hindsight, they crumble into pieces. They're not truth. They're not authentic. They just serve a purpose. So what if we would, instead of having to overcome every single time, to overcome this huge gap between the official version and the potential truth, where we have to go through the ridicule, where we have to go through the name calling, where we have to go through the fighting, rather than just saying, let's question it. We have been, as a society, lied to so many times. Let's just be open and question it. Look at alternative research. Look at alternative news sources. Piece the picture together. That's where you start getting the image. And that's how you find an Abraham channel. That's how you find someone like that. That's how you find Joe Dispenza. That's how you find Greg Braden. That's how you find David Icke. That's how you find the Inspire channel. That's how you begin to broaden your horizon and open your mind. And rather than saying, this is the narrative and everything left and right from the narrative is conspiracy, let's keep an open mind. Just look at the things. What's the most logical thing to do here is to find facts around a subject and then maybe create a strategy, then maybe look what we can do to improve it, then maybe look what we can do to change it. So demystifying, and this is the greatest of all, the greatest, most sophisticated conspiracy of all, was to discredit people who question the official narrative, to give them a box that is so dangerous that no one wants to be in it. But I can also tell you, it's not really a box. It's actually leaving a box. And once you leave the box, all the good stuff is on the other side. All the good stuff is outside of it. When you overcome the fear, when you overcome the prejudice, when you overcome all of that, and then you realize some subjects are not at all what we were told they are. Some subjects are pretty close to what we believe they are. And you can only find that out when you are willing to overcome this idea that there is someone who has the authority to present reality to you and to tell you what it is and to give you the details about it and tells you in the same instant that you are not allowed to question it. That's the most dangerous thing of all. That's when we not just go backwards, but that's when we begin to dehumanize ourselves. When we begin to deny our most internal qualities that we have of being human. And I want you to go and about the things that you're really interested in, things that really captivate you. Look outside of, if you can find the magazine in a regular store, don't buy that one. Go and look at alternative facts. Go and look at alternative researchers. Go and do your own research. Go and try and piece something together yourself and see if you come to different conclusions. Because so many times, and I've had an eye-opening conversation with a very dear friend, and he's in his 60s. And he would always cite stats to get across his point. We would often be on different sides of the conversation, and he would tell me where this study shows this, and this study shows this. And he said it as if it was an irrefutable fact. And I just asked him, that might very well be, but who paid for the study? And what were their intentions? Because if I pay for a study and if I want an outcome, I can communicate in a way that the study will bring me that outcome, even if it's not true and authentic, because I paid for it. And because a lot of what is happening in this world works that way. So I oftentimes say a good way to find authenticity and truth is when people speak to you and they have nothing to gain. They have nothing to sell in that moment. They don't have a product they want you to buy. They don't have a subscription they want you to get on. When they're presenting something to you, they're just doing it because they are desiring to spread truth and authenticity. And a lot of times that's where you find the most of it, the most of truth and authenticity. So look there. It's not that people that have subscription programs are necessarily lying. Thankfully, we have created a whole new way of communicating. And there's a whole set of advertisers out there that want that authentic audience and that have products that are interesting to that authentic audience. So this has changed. But in broader terms speaking, is there's this wisdom that he who has nothing to sell might be the one who's really speaking the truth. I'm paraphrasing, but that's kind of how the saying goes. So just look at that and drop the term conspiracy theorist, tinfoil head, whatever, nut. And know that it is only there to discredit the messenger. And throughout this year, I've seen the incredible courage. We've seen the incredible courage of people, of scientists, of doctors, of politicians, of people of all walks of life who were willing to put their whole career, to put their PhDs and to put their tenures and put everything on the line just to speak truth. Those are the people I listen to. Because if they're willing to risk everything, chances are they're telling the truth. That's what we're seeing now too, for those of you who are living in this country, and it's important to everyone, not just people here. It's just so important. Listen to the hundreds and thousands of people that are testifying today, every day now, in various states, that have worked as poll watchers, that have worked in a capacity in the elections, that are under the penalty of perjury, which means when they lie and they're caught lying, they go to jail. They're doing it. They have families, they have jobs, they have lives, they have careers that they're putting on a line to tell about the fraud that's been going on in the elections, to tell about the incredible conspiracy that's really going on here, and give them the time of the day. Listen, look them up, look the YouTube videos up, honor them by giving them the time of the day and actually listening to it. You don't have to agree with either politician in this game. It's not about that anymore. It's about understanding that we can only ever create freely and create a free society and be a free society and live in a free society when we have authentic processes, real, truthful processes, whether that's a voting process or whether that's, how laws are being passed, all of those things. It's time to clean house and recreate these things in a truthful manner. Please don't discredit these things and these people. They're brave people, courageous people that are being threatened. Their lives are threatened, their children's lives are threatened, their jobs are threatened, but they're doing it anyway. What does that tell you? That's where you find truth. By people that have everything to lose and they wake up, that's where you usually find truth. And I'm going to close this with this woman's statement. She was speaking yesterday at a hearing, and I think it was the legislator, I think it was the council that was hearing and asking the question. And this woman on the council was very disrespectful and basically called the lady, the witness, a liar. And she just said, well, I can tell you this. I'm willing to take another oath. I've already said this in a sworn affidavit, but I'll tell you another thing. In order for me to be able to repeat a lie over and over again in the same way, it requires a lot of memory power to remember a lie. But to remember a truth, it requires nothing. You can wake me up in the middle of the night and I'll still tell the same story because it's the truth. So that, I think, is very powerful. Let's go and listen to that. And let's not call ourselves names and put ourselves and each other down and discredit each other, because we are all a piece in this puzzle. And when we are courageous enough and when we feel courageous enough to speak truth, a lot of wonderful things happen. So as an encouragement, go out, speak your truth, speak up, be the light. And even if what you say might go completely against what's in the newspapers and what's on the TV screens and what's out there, if you feel the truth behind those words, if you feel that you are speaking truth and it, speak it. It's important, more important than ever. That's our role right now, Inspired Tribe. That's our role right now. Let me quickly run through the comments here. Rose, thank you for echoing. We're healthy, wealthy, and wise. I love it. Also, Rose, thank you for sending in the picture. Rose got her Inspired merch delivery, and she's rocking her purple hoodie. Everything's always working out for me hoodie. A great picture. Look at it on the community page or Facebook page. Thank you for sending that in. You look radiant. Color looks amazing on you. That's by far our bestseller. Everything is always working out for me. And as we said in the post, if you still want to get in your Christmas, your hoodie or your T-shirt or whatever from the Inspired merch store, please order within a few days. I think the cutoff date is the end of this week to get it before Christmas. So check it out in the Inspired merch store. Thank you, Rose, for sending the picture. And I think we got some more pictures that we're going to post over the next couple of days. Guy, thank you for those who have already hit the like button. Black Sky is an ambassador for the like button on the Inspired channel. No one is making sure more than Black Sky that everyone hits the like button. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you, guys. And thank you, Black Sky. Let me see. I saw another one. Angie said, good day, gorgeous, beautiful, loving light workers. Well, I echo that. Good day, light workers. Good day. Black Sky also says, our government is a conspiracy theory. They want us to believe their lies. When we speak the truth, they say that's a conspiracy theory. That's it in a nutshell. And I just believe we have to overcome this game that we're not really a part of. And just, speak our truth. We might not always get the whole picture right. But a lot of times it just helps to put seed there, the seed of truth. And, if I have a part of the picture and you have a part of the picture and we put things together, great things might happen. So don't be afraid. Siobhan also says, the label conspiracy is a tool used to control the many by the few. Bingo, bingo. It's a good, basically, if someone is yelling, they're a conspiracy theorist, turn off, just turn away. And that's a surefire sign that they're, running with an agenda. Rajin says, boom. I don't know what the boom was about, but I love it. Rajin says, wow, I follow all those names you called there. Thank you. I know I'm not going crazy. No, not at all. Actually, to the contrary. And there's some great haikus, definitely the most intense in many ways. But Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, they're completely, they're not getting involved in any political debates. And I respect that. Although I will say, throughout this year, there has been more. I know Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden both came out and kind of spoke out. And there's also, what's his name? Dr. Buttar? Dr. Buttar, look him up. Amazing doctor, amazing dude. Is also a veteran, very well-connected and very wise and intelligent in a lot of ways. Just, these are people that, again, they are so far away from the mainstream, and they have already made a decision that they are going to create a whole new way of looking at things, or bringing it into the public sphere without caring about what they're being called in the mainstream. And that's a decision that you make, and that's a decision we had to make at some point, is, are we still going to try to play the game and appeal to those who are living half lies or full lies? Or are we going to be our full authentic selves and go out there and, jump into the deep end and create from authenticity, not giving a rip if it creates ripples? And if it, there you go, poetic. And that's really important. That's a life worth living. I can just tell you that. When you stop giving a shit about what people might think about you, what they might call you. We've been called. Expect from you. And we've been called everything. It's interesting. We even get called stuff on the Inspired channel. Such a broad spectrum of topics that we talk about. If anything, we don't push away anything. We don't close ourselves off to anything. But even here, we sometimes are amazed at how people are fighting for their little bubble. And everyone who they feel is, challenging their bubble, and they're willing to go to, to the battlefield and fight. I just wonder if anything really, really, really triggers you. I talked about it yesterday when I was 14, 15 years old. Someone really triggered a belief that I held, really triggered it. I got mad. But when that happens, that's where you need to look. Because when you react in such a strong way, it usually means there's something there. So if there's a belief that's being challenged and you feel you want to defend it, in a way that almost feels unhealthy, look a little deeper. There might be a gift there for you. They might be giving you the greatest gift. It might be time for you to challenge that belief and see if it's still authentic, if you still feel authentically about it. Reality revolution boom. I like that. Thank you. The secret is the feeling. Absolutely. And that's what we always say, feel your way through something. That's the part of you that's connected to the Great Spirit. That's the part of you that cannot really be wrong. Our minds can be deceived. There's a lot of techniques to do that. But when you're really in the heart space and connected, it's hard to be deceived. That's a really good point. Thank you. Crown released. There you go. I like that. Sean says Project Veritas exposing CNN. Yes, there's almost too much to go through and post, but there's a prediction that I made on Facebook a couple days ago, and I'm going to echo this here. I predict that within the next 12 to 24 months, so 1 to 2 years, we're going to see the death of mainstream media as we know it. So one of two things is going to happen. Either there's going to be such a cleanup in mainstream media that we're not going to be able to recognize these channels anymore because they're going to be transformed in such a profound way, or they're going to go away altogether and just be replaced by a broader, much more diverse network of news channels and YouTube or video channels and platforms that not 10, but I think they're going to be replaced by 30, 40, 50, 60 in 24 months. That's just one of the things that I think is going to happen. But watch it. Mainstream media is dying a slow death, and it's very, very good because they don't have good intentions. Okie dokie, Inspire Tribe. Let me see if I missed something. Siobhan says, the new way of looking at things is going to be the way. Agreed. We're beautiful.
Amen.
Warriors. Thank you, Rose. I agree. Charlie Ward. Yeah, there's a lot of good people. Looking at things differently makes you see different stuff. Isn't that what Wayne Dyer said? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Think about it. Interesting stuff. All right, tribe. Yes. Thank you for being a part of this. This was the last live stream of the week. I think we look forward to seeing you Monday, 2 p.m. Central Standard. Meanwhile, check out our website, see if something speaks to you. Do the Inspired Freedom Launcher. It's in the description. It's a free process, amazing process. And just have fun. Be inspired, inspire others. And, let's continue to expand and grow. All right, tribe. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We love you. And if there's anything really exciting going on, we might chime in for a special broadcast. All right, tribe. See you soon.